Hi everyone, it's Lou Collins here. Now today I'd like to announce the launch of some fantastic new tools at CraftStash. These are your essential tools for things like cutting mats, rulers, guides, platforms. They are things that you just are not going to be able to craft without once you have started. So I'm going to guide you through my favourites of the new collection and show you how to best to use each one. Now, of course, as always with all of these, if you are a VIP member at CraftStash, you're going to save yourself 10% on each of these items. And if you're not a VIP member, why not? See all the details down in the description below for that. So I'm going to start with the Creative Craft Products rotating stamp platform. I'm in love with this. I think this is an amazing tool and I can see me using it all the time. So first of all, let's see the benefits from the outside before I show you how to use it. We have got the non-slip base there. We also have a couple of magnets included for holding your work still. We have, as we have with the stamping platform, the general stamping platform, we have the springy corners. This means that you can line up your stamp with your project before pressing it down and see exactly where you're going to be pressing that down. So we have that at the bottom here as well. Then we have, as you can see, lots of guidelines on here, and I'm going to explain to you how they all work in a moment. And we also have the removable magnetic turner here. This is going to help guide you through rotating your project to the perfect amount of degrees to get the ideal spacing for things like wreaths. So I did one here, and as you can see, it's absolutely perfect. And I'm going to show you exactly how I did that, but with a different image. So I'm going to take a 6-inch piece of paper. I've cut this down already. And as you can see, we've got from 12-inch all the way down to 4-inch marked on the base here. So I'm going to place the corner of my cardstock on the 6-inch guide there, like so. And you'll notice you've got magnets underneath your dial here. So keep that with the 0 pointing upwards, and that should just jump around. There we go, just snap into place. So make sure again that once that's snapped into place, your paper is still straight in the guide, and then we can pop this on top. If you want to, you can also use the magnets to hold your paper still while you're stamping, but I've found so far that I haven't actually needed to do that. So I've got myself a stamp here, and I'm going to place this on the reverse of my platform here. So I'm going to say, well, I think I'd like that around about here. So I'm going to just see. Now this takes it between the two 60-degree marks here, and I've got my 6-inch line here. So this is going to take us to the edge of my 6-inch piece, and you can already see that happening at the two ends of this line here. So I want my stamp to be within that 6-inch mark, and the end of the stamp here comes at the 60-degree line, and the same here. So let me just place this under my 6-inch line between my two black 60-degree marks. Now with this, what I like to do, and what I've done on my practice pieces, is just very slightly overlap the top and the bottom there, just ever so slightly. So this is slightly larger. And then I'm going to place this back down. So what we've got at the top here is degrees and how many times you're going to be stamping to form a complete wreath or a complete circle. Because I'm using the 60-degree space, if I had a smaller stamp, I'd place it in the middle, and that might be between the two 15-degree lines. So I'd be using the 15-degree space. You've got 30 and you've also got 90. But because I'm using the 60 degrees, the black lines here, I'm going to stamp this leaf 6 times to complete a complete circle. Okay, so I then also need to consider the 60 degrees in a moment. Let's ink the stamp up, and we're not going to move the stamp on the platform. We're going to keep it in this place each time. So I'm just going to use a black ink there. Turn this over. Make sure that is on the guide so it's actually stuck there in the right place, and just press this down. And because I'm pressing this down and I've got the springs at each of the corners, I get a perfect stamp each time. Okay, so I'm going to keep that there, but just lift this off for a second because I'll need to re-ink my stamp. I'm going to turn this dial, and I'm just gently going to guide the paper with it back round to the first 60-degree mark. So you've got 15, 30, 45, 60. Okay, now don't worry about the fact that your paper looks a little bit off, a little bit at an angle. As long as you've kept the paper in the right place, it'll be perfect. So just popping this back on again, and I'm going to press this down once more. There we go. Okay, so you can see how the ends are just touching there. Now we're going to turn this again to the next 60-degree mark. So there's 15, 30, 45, 60 there. You can check if you want. Yeah, perfect. Ink the stamp and repeat. And we're going to keep repeating this until we've worked our way all the way round that circle. Now I'm on to my last leaf, so 1, 2, 3, just going to the last 60-degree marker on here. For the last time, ink up my stamp, and this should meet the two ends of the circle perfectly. There we go, look at that. So now I can lift off my magnet, pop that back down, and we have the perfect wreath of stamps. Now here's one I did with a different stamp on a 4-inch piece, and again, perfect results every single time. Another new item is the rotating cutting mat, and as you can see, it's kind of a lazy Susan and it's on a rotating base. So you've got your non-slip feet on there that rotate round, and what you've also got is a removable mat. Now this is a self-healing mat, so you can cut on it if you wish, but you can lift this up. You do have grid marks on there too to guide you, and you can turn this over. So for example, if you like to work with paints and inks but keep one side clean, you can use it that way. Or once it's worn down by you cutting on it continuously, you can then turn it over and have a fresh new side too. Alternatively, you can just use this without the mat in. If for example you like to decorate cakes, do the mandala dot painting that I've been doing a lot of lately, things like that, anything sculptural work where you need the turntable, you can use this equally as well for those as well. So this is all the way across 10 inches. If you wish, you can also put another mat on top. This is completely smooth with the self-healing mat in. So if you want to place, for example, a glass cutting mat over the top or something larger and just use it almost as a lazy Susan, you can do that too. This is again another essential in your craft room. The all-in-one magnetic mat is exactly that. It's magnetic from top to bottom, edge to edge. It comes in this huge 12 by 12 size, so you can do all your card making sizes on it, and it comes with the magnetic rubber and 2 super strong magnets that have a soft edge to them, so when you place them down they don't make too much noise either. They don't do that clattering together that you sometimes get. Now you may also spy a couple of holes at the top. This is just in preparation for something that's coming in the future for creative craft products. So you'll see what those are for in the next weeks or months to come, but you will definitely use them. So this is really handy if, for example, you are cutting on this and you have your magnetic ruler that will grip down your paper as you're cutting, things like this. So this is absolutely perfect. And once again, something that I'm going to find myself using an awful lot in the craft room. Next up is the Guillotine paper trimmer from Creative Craft Products. Now, if you've had the sliding trimmer from Creative Craft Products in the past, you'll know the quality, how amazing that is, and we love it. But a guillotine is just something a little different. No blades to need to replace on this. The blade actually sharpens as it goes against the metal edge there. So I'm going to show you a few features of this one. So it's a nice portable size. You could pop it into your craft bag. It can sit out on your desk. We do have the non-stick or non-slip feet there too. A nice large handle, which I love. It gives easy grip. We do have this catch at the bottom, so if you were to lift that up, the blade's not going to open and be exposed for you until you pull that to the side and lift it. You've also got a finger guard here, so you're not going to get your fingers caught under that blade. We've got inches and we've got centimeters on here, and as I say, this is going to stay sharp all all the time, because you've got that metal bar that is cutting against each time and sharpening itself. So I really love this with the guidelines as well. I love that it's got a hanging hook too, so easy storage in the craft room and always the perfect cut. Now, many crafters will tell you that they love to use a glass mat in the craft room. Now, this one has a large grid on one side, and it also has space for your Creative Craft Products media plate on here as well. Or, for example, things like mixing watercolors or ink. So you can ink blend on this, you can cut on this as well. It's perfect for cutting with a craft knife because it keeps your cuts nice and sharp. This is safe to do your heat embossing on, and of course, it's all wipe clean. So whichever type of craft mat you like to use in your craft room, we've got you covered with all the new tools. Now, the new set of blending brushes from Creative Craft Products have large flat heads with synthetic bristles that are packed really closely together for perfect blending. So picking up your ink and kind of dispensing it evenly every time. They all come with their own little storage case, carry case, whatever you want to call it. I think that's perfect for keeping the ink away from anything else when you're storing them. But you can also see the colour that you've used that brush with. They all have an ergonomically designed handle as well, and this is only going to help you if you suffer from things like hand fatigue when using craft tools. So the brushes pick up a good amount of ink every time and give you perfect blending by very gently adding to your paper in a nice, smooth and even motion. So if you want to create ombre effects, if you want to blend colours together, or if you just want to pick up the raised area on an embossing folder, you can do that perfectly with these brushes. They're easily washable as well, so you don't have to worry about switching between colours. To work alongside these, we've also got the brush cleaning pad. This is going to just get into all of those bristles, whether you use it with stamp cleaner, with water, or just on its own to remove the excess. Because of all the grooves and the ridges of the silicone pad, this is going to help remove even the most stubborn of ink inside your bristles. The mixed media brushes that are new to Creative Craft Products are a silicone ended brush which have a curved edge, and they are perfect for mixing and applying and shaping wet mediums. So for example, if you love to do mixed media, if you like to use texture pastes, grits, dimensional paste like this, if you like to use gesso or mix paints, these are absolutely perfect. They also wipe clean really easily too, so you don't need to worry about the cleanup. You can even use these for modelling things like clay. Creative Craft Products have just launched their set of alcohol pens as well. So this bumper pack of pens includes 79 colours and 1 clear blending. Now this ranges from deep dark colours to your pastels, your brights, and even some neon colours in there too. Plus you have lots of your greys for perfect shading. Now each pen comes with a chisel broad nib so you can cover large areas, and it also comes with a fine tip too for those detail areas. When stamping and then colouring in your stamped images with the pens, we definitely suggest you use an alcohol proof ink pad for that, and because these are alcohol based, they can go onto many different surfaces. So you're going to find all these new tools available at CraftStash now, and don't forget, as a VIP you're going to save 10% off of each item. Keep an eye out for new videos coming soon with each product going into more detail about how to use them.